How to install Tailwind CSS. Create a folder named Workspace. Open this folder. Create another folder in this folder named TWCSS. Right-click on TWCSS folder and open it with VS Code. Open browser and go to tailwindcss.com website. Click on Get Started button. Installation. We will install Tailwind CSS with Tailwind CLI. Move on to step 1. Install Tailwind CSS via npm. Here we need npm and npx. This means that we have to install Node.js to get npm installed on our computer. The Node.js includes both Node.js runtime environment and npm executables. npm is a tool used to install packages, and npx is a tool used to execute these packages. Since npm version 5.2.0, npx is pre-bundled with npm. This means after installing Node.js in our system, we will get Node.js server-side runtime environment, npm package manager, and npx package executor as well. So go to nodejs.org website, download Node.js and install it. I have already installed it, so do it yourself. After installing Node.js, verify installation. For this, switch to VS Code. Click Terminal in menu bar and then New Terminal. Now in terminal type node-v and hit enter. This will display Node.js version. Also run npm-b. This will display npm version. And npx-b. This will display npx version. After this, go back to Tailwind CSS website. Step 1. Install Tailwind CSS. Copy first command. Switch to VS Code. Right-click in terminal, paste and hit enter. Copy second command and run it as well. Or you can copy both commands at once by clicking copy button on right, then paste and run. After running both commands from step 1, we will get node_modules folder, package-lock.json file, package.json file, and tailwind.config.js file. Before performing step 2, create 2 folders, first TWCSS_dir and second public. Now create one file input.css in first folder, and create 2 files index.html, then style.css in second folder. Here input.css file will contain Tailwind CSS directives from step number 3. And in public folder we will put all our website source files. Now move on to step number 2. Configure your template paths. Add the paths to all of your source files in your tailwind.config.js file. Here you need to know how Tailwind CSS works. Tailwind CSS works by scanning all of your HTML files, JavaScript files, and any other files containing Tailwind CSS class names, generating the corresponding styles, and then writing them to a static CSS file. We can say that it's a simple 3-step process. Scan source files, generate styles, and write them to static CSS file. In order for Tailwind to generate all of the CSS you need, it needs to know about every single file in your project that contains any Tailwind CSS class names. Configure the paths to all of your source files in the content section of your configuration file. Do you remember our public folder? This is where all our source files are resting. Let's configure it. Open tailwind.config.css file. Here asterisk mean whatever file name is that ends with .html, and save file. Move on to step 3. Add the Tailwind directives to your CSS. Copy directives by clicking copy button on the right. Open input.css file. which is inside twcss_dir folder. Paste directives here and save file. Move on to step 4. Start the Tailwind CLI build process. Here we have two options. First is, copy the command and paste it in VS Code terminal. Then type our input.css file path after -i token, and our style.css file path after -o token, and run it by hitting enter. This is not a simple way to do this, and why we need to do this. We need to start the build process, because it is the build process that scans our source files from the path we have configured in our step number 2, then extracts actual CSS properties from Tailwind directives, which we have placed in input.css file in the previous step, and places them in our static style.css file.
What?
Build process scans our source files, gets Tailwind CSS classes from our source files, extracts actual CSS properties from Tailwind directives, and writes these properties in our style.css file. It means we don't need to write CSS properties ourselves every time by switching from HTML to CSS file. We'll only write Tailwind CSS class's name in our HTML. Now second option is, do this alongside, open package.json file. Make your package.json file similar to this, and save it. Here in curly braces, on the right of colon, we have command to start the build process. And on the left of colon is the name of command. You can change the command name to whatever you like. In the command, there are two tokens. First is -i means input. After this token we have placed our input.css file path. And second is -o means output. After this token we have placed our style.css file path. Style.css is the file where build process writes CSS properties after extracting from input.css file. Move on to step 5. Start using Tailwind in your HTML. Copy HTML code, paste it in your index.html file. Link our style.css file to HTML. Modify HTML body content. Make sure your HTML file is similar to shown here. Open your HTML file in the browser. Is Tailwind CSS is applied? Well, we have not started our Tailwind CSS build process. Now open up terminal and type npm run build-css and hit enter. Check out your browser, refresh page.
Let's go!
Don't forget to start Tailwind CSS build process. Remember that, keep Tailwind CSS build process running while you are working.